Hello and welcome to Channel Sports on Sunday. I'm Cecilia Omogbe in Lagos. On the show today, we'll be talking about the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. Yes, the Flamingos, they're already in action against Germany for the third place match. Later today, Spain and Colombia will be in action to see who's going to win the title. Both of them, of course, are aiming to win the title for the very first time in the history of the tournament. That's for those countries. Also on the program, we'll touch down on the CAF Women's Champions League. It's starting today. Remember, Bayelsa Queens are the ones representing Nigeria in that continental championship. And of course, you know, the prize money is really huge, $400,000, yes, as for the winners. So Bayelsa Queens, no matter where they get, of course, they're guaranteed of getting at least 100,000 naira, just $100,000 just by participating. They will be in action on Monday. We'll have a comprehensive preview of that. Also on the program, yes, countdown to FIFA World Cup. It's 21 days to go. It's just 3 weeks to the biggest showpiece in the world right there in Qatar. The very first World Cup that will be happening in the Middle East. We'll also touch down, on, of course, on what is happening with MPFL clubs, what the MPFL executives are saying concerning loaning players from amateur clubs to the professional level. That will also get our attention. And, of course, former Super Eagles forward, Jonathan Akpobere, will also be joining us on the program. And, of course, you will be talking about what it means to really, take care of yourself. I mean, some of these players try as much as possible to do so many charities. Remember the Socrates Award? It was an African who won it, the very first edition, of course, for him, who won the very first award that was given by the Ballon d'Or. I'm talking about Sadio Mane. Yes, when you do this charity, these humanitarian aids for your communities, obviously people are watching, and of course you get reward at the end of the day. We'll also talk about Henry Wonso, his current state of health. Well, the good news is that the ministry and some other well-meaning Nigerians are really ready to help him out and make him well again. Well, it's called the youngest millionaire, and that was his nickname when he was playing football. Of course, I will not be doing all the talking alone. This is just the introduction. I've got Theophilus Agbola right here in the Lagos studio. Theophilus, good to have you joining.
Yeah, it's good to be back, Cecilia. It's nice.
It's been like 3 weeks.
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
Yes, thank you.
In a way. Of course, Ken Ochonogo is in London, joining me right there from London. Ken, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sisi. Good afternoon, all of you in there. Catalan, how are you? You were absent last week. I hope. Is it raining? Is it raining in Lagos, or how is it?
Yeah, I think it rains. It's not raining today, but there was rain on Friday, and of course, a little bit of Saturday and Thursday. Yeah. It's been, it's off and on, but not very heavy. But the floods are still there. Some communities affected from Benue to Bayelsa to Delta, Edo. I mean, it's a whole lot. Yeah, the flood is still ravaging most communities across Nigeria. All right, Jonathan Akpobere is also joining us on the program. Good afternoon, Jonathan.
Good afternoon.
Well, it's great to have you join us on the program. Okay, yes, I'm going to start off with the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. Yes, when it comes to women, we have to start off with that. Ladies first, right? Yeah. We'll quickly touch down on that one. They're currently up against Germany for a third-place game, and the game so far, it's goalless. We don't have goals yet for it. It's just goalless now, but the Flamingos are trying as much as to see if they can get a goal. Germany scored first, but it was offside, it was disallowed, so it's still goalless in the game. We'll bring you updates of the game as the program continues. We'll quickly touch down on the... I'll just ask you a few quickly. Okay. The Flamingos' performance so far.
Well, it's been, I would say, impressive up until the game against Colombia, where I felt the girls were a little bit flat-footed. But then again, I wouldn't, from what I watched and what I saw, I feel they've been impressive getting up to the stage of that competition. But I just felt like when they got to the penalty shootout, Colombia wanted it more. And let's not forget that no Colombian team has ever gotten to the finals of any FIFA comp. So you could literally see all over social media, everybody went, I follow Radamel Falcao and quite a number of them. And you could see the way they were tweeting and just celebrating, the whole thing. So we beaten Colombia, I think, twice in this competition. I think in 2018, and I can't remember the other year again, but we beaten them twice. So I think this was trying to avoid it happening the third time, so they wanted it more. But so far, so good. I think it's been a very, very impressive performance from the girls. They've been able to put smiles on our faces in a while period whereby things have not really been going the way we wanted to go in the country. But hopefully, moving forward, we get to see them develop more and then move on to even the bigger stages of playing in the national team.
Okay, I think it's a goal up now. I think
Yes.
Nigeria is 1 goal up. That's a good one for the Flamingos. Yes, that third place is going to be for. Let's see if the Flamingos will just make history. This is the first time we are having a team on the 17 women's getting to the semi-finals and also having to play the third place match. So for these girls, it will be historic for them. Remember the last one? I mean, at the group stage, it was 2-1.
Yeah.
I mean, Nigeria scored first and Germany scored twice. Akpobere, I know you've been monitoring this. Yes, I know we have a reason for bringing you up here, but I can't just let you go and not talk about this FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. Have you been impressed with their performance so far in this tournament?
Well, I have to say, I wasn't watching the live games just like today, but the results I would follow. And it's been fantastic. Any team that gets to the semi-final of the World Championships is actually doing very well, and we have to commend them for that.
Okay.
Sissy, let me ask Jojo. Jojo, Jonathan, don't run away. Don't run away. This is Nigeria versus Germany. Germany is not second hook. So there is no way. Don't let him off the hook. Just look at the developmental side. How does Germany get developmental side compared to us? Of course, we're impressed with how far our girls have gone. Like for Germany, it's like almost like a tradition. It does almost all their football from the youth stages to the final stages. You went to the Germany as a youth player, and so can you just look at that and enlighten us here compared to what we have here in Nigeria?
Well, that has been the difference. When I first went to Germany, the development of players was not as organized as it is now. Now there are stages, and this is actually the third stage of development in the girls playing for Germany now, because you get from 10 to like 15, they teach you all the basic, the control, the formation, how they want them to play, and you start following that from that 10 years old. So if you get into the national team from 15 years, you start learning also how the national team, they play at the senior level. But the coaches who are actually experienced to now identify players that are that old, they start picking the players for various national teams. From this place, this is like not the beginning, but you are in the middle of it, where you now graduate into the national team. If you are talented enough, because you are being picked by several coaches that are talented in picking this kind of players. They project and they say, okay, the statistics before of those players that have been good, they start measuring from this stage to pick out the outstanding players. And they are almost 90% correct when they pick these players. That is where we are lacking, because you find out our players that have qualified now, by the time they get home, if they don't get picked by teams that are outside Nigeria from Europe, then they start losing that enthusiasm to actually perform, because the platform is not here, and they start playing in our league and believing, okay, we are the best in this league. What next? But in Germany, they go back to Germany and they are being challenged by people who are above them. So that improves all of them more and more every time. But meanwhile, our players are deteriorating in quality.
Wow, that's an interesting one coming from former Super Eagles striker Jonathan Akpobere. I mean, just explicitly putting it, how it should be done to have a follow-up for those players. Jonathan, thank you so much for that insightful analysis concerning how age grade should be managed, so the talents are really not wasted. We hope and pray that these Flamingos will get to see most of them in Falconet, and of course from there moving on to the Super Falcons. Also, there will be an institution or a structure that would be created for the Nigerian Football Federation to be able to manage these players and not just let them go, and then that's the end of it all. So we'll leave that quickly and talk about, okay, I'll just give you who scored. It was Okpeyemi Ajakaye that actually gave Nigeria, the first goal against Germany. We'll bring you updates as we continue the show. Now, the CAF Women's Champions League, quickly touch down on that. Bayelsa Queens, of course, representing Nigeria in that. Remember, Bayelsa Queens are Nigerian champions. They won Waffle B, and that's the reason why they are there in Morocco. They will be up against the defending champions, talking about Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa. We'll just take a look at the fixtures that's coming up today, and also the games for on tomorrow, which is for Monday. And of course, for the Bayelsa Queens, they will be playing their own game on Monday. Here you have Mamelodi Sundowns and Bayelsa Queens. That game is on Monday. Wadi Degla and TP Mazembe women also on Monday. But the games for today, which is Sunday, you will be having, of course, the host nation, ASFR, they will be having their game today of Morocco, and of course they will be playing against Simba Queens of Tanzania, the two games for today. Green Buffaloes and the Tammy Girls of Liberia, that's the surprise team that came all the way from Liberia. They will also be in action later today. So for ASFR, they will be participating in the second Champions League this season. They were there last season. Bayelsa Queens are making their debut because last season it was Rivers Angels. Also, the team from Tanzania's Simba also making their debut. Then you also have Buffaloes and the Tammy Girls. They are also making their debut in the CAF Women's Champions League. And quickly we'll touch down on the Olympic Eagles. I think that's where we are going next. You have that up there. You're supposed to have the Women's Champions League. The Olympic Eagles, of course, they are through to the final round of qualifiers for the qualifications for the 2024 Paris Games. For the Olympic Eagles, it was they won 2-0 against Tanzania. The first leg ended 1-1. So when Tanzania came to Ibadan, they beat them 2-0. And aggregate, it was 3-1. So they will now be facing Guinea because from reports reaching us that Uganda have pulled out of that in the final round that will be taking place in March. Akubore, this for the Olympic Eagles, you will say is a plus because the last Olympics, Nigeria was not there. But this particular one, you'll be having Nigeria. Okay, we don't know yet, but this is the final round of qualifiers. It may just be tricky for the Olympic Eagles, right?
Of course, but it will be a tremendous way to actually give them that foreign experience, and that is valuable in anybody's development in football. Even though you are a professional, every game counts, and every game gives you that much needed experience. And this will be fantastic for Nigeria and the players that will qualify to play at the Olympics.
Yeah, I'll ask you right here. What do you think about their performances so far? Over the two games.
Over the two games, well, losing their first game, one goal to nil, but they knew they had to get the job done here in Nigeria and at the Lagos Salami Stadium in front of the governor and the host of other dignitaries who had actually promised them some funds, They went there, and I think I was particularly impressed by success. Makonjola, I think he scored in that game. It was very, very impressive as well. Like you rightly put it, we're not at the last Olympics. We know what football is for us at the Olympics. You know how it was when we won our first gold at the Olympics, and to a large extent, Nigeria will want to see the guys play football at the Olympics. So I think this is the right step to go. Hopefully, they're able to get the job done later in March and then go on to play in the Olympics. We can only hope that these guys, do what they need to do and then go all the way. I wouldn't want to watch an Olympic football tournament in the Olympics without the Nigerian team being there. No. It was a bitter pill for me to swallow the last time if you ask me.
Well, if you don't have team sports, you don't have football, you don't have basketball or any other one. Track and field will always give you the joy that you want. Ken, the Olympic Eagles, we talked about them last week when they were able to get that draw away, thinking, okay, they've already started it. All they have to do is to, consolidate on what they've started, going away, picking up a draw, and coming home, winning. Ken, what do you think about this? Ibadan, for the first time, it's been, I can't remember the last time, the fans had the opportunity to actually watch a national team play in their home ground.
Well, under 23 in the house have already spoken at you.
Wow. Okay.
Under 23 is the I think is the ground, joining the under 20, the youth players, but
yes.
normally you have a sprinkle of some good players, who are above 23. To join that team, trying to say this can smoothly, just like what Jonathan said, smoothly, transit into the senior national team. It is still developmental, even if it is not it is at the final stage of development. So we are trying to say from this team, from this player, how many of them? Of course, at 23, the most are those who are genuinely, how do I say, those who are really talented players. By 23, they were already showing what they are. By 23, Jonathan was already playing professional football so much, you understand? Sunday I will tell you the story of Jonathan.
Okay.
When they came back from China, and then the guy went to the US and came back and was feeling. And another information this thing, Jonathan is already part of this team. We have signed him. He's not on loan. He's part of China Sport on Sunday.
Okay.
He's part of the team of China Sport on Sunday. Actually, he's just on loan. We're trying to get those documentations are fully rectified, so that even if it's on loan, we'll be collecting. They'll be paying us. We can't have our own player and playing outside. That will not benefit. So it's a good one. When the stadium was opened last 2 years ago, where there were a lot of finishing that were not done. But that the plan is get something done, get the facilities put there in place. That is the most important thing. We're talking about facilitators, we're talking about the facilities. If those are in place, if players can have where they can go and knock the ball together, where they can run, where they can jump, I mean, it gives them an avenue to decide, not that it's too kind of foreign. In Lagos, sometimes they lock up the national stadium for renovation. Our athletes don't have access to it. You are frustrated. In the local government, think about lock-up shops. There's lock-up shops everywhere. No playgrounds for the kids. Jonathan will tell you what's happening in the UK, what is happening in Switzerland. Most of them spend time in Switzerland, in Germany, and all that thing. They give you this access for you to go and go and let out that your steam. Go out and show your talent. Go out and run for free. Close to your house. Almost everywhere close to your vicinity, all your counties, these things are there. So I kudos to what are happening in Ibadan. Of course, it is state-owned. We want to expect the local government, and it is capital intensive, but you can do this according to your cost. Small costs, small playground, small develop some primary schools. Make it in such a way that people in that area, in that vicinity, your local government can where they can convert, run, even just exercising and knocking. We play football in the street in Nigeria. So this is good. I love it. I love the governor coming in. Of course, it is taxpayers' money. We know that. But then for our constituency, which is sports, we need the money we are getting is not enough. It is very, very inadequate. The other day we looked at it, we said about less than 7% of the funds to the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development goes to sport. Over 90% goes to NYSC. I think we already handicapped within the ministry. It is not the Ministry of Sport. I think it's the ministry. Have you watched that movie Between, where you have Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito? I think sport is Danny DeVito in the Ministry of Youth and Sport. I'm telling you this because our height is not up to Danny DeVito. I'm telling you this because it's compared 90% to less than 10%. What do you think? 1090. It is. I think something needs to be done. Either you carve out a separate ministry for the Ministry of Sports for us, or maybe you put in more fund in that particular. But for the under 23 teams, it is good to start. We'll scale this further and hope they will qualify for the Olympics and represent Nigeria in Paris.
Yeah, hopefully they will be able to do that. Now we talk about the FIFA World Cup, the bigger one, where you have the big boys, the elites are playing, and it's 21 days to go to Qatar. Yes, Nigeria will not be going. We can't stop saying that. Yes, some people just don't want to mention it, but then it's a fact that, hey, when you see all the flags flying right there in Qatar, I mean, the flags are already there, and there is no Nigerian flag, but you have that of Ghana, Cameroon, Senegal, Morocco, Tunisia. These are the countries that will be representing Africa in Qatar. Now, for so far, people have been talking about will everyone will be welcome. How strict is Qatar. But Infantino is saying that, look, everybody is welcome. And not only that, Aspire Command Center Executive Director Niyaz Abdurrahman have been talking about the fact that they now have a controlled center system whereby securities will be monitored. So hooligans who want to go to Qatar and look for trouble, well, they'll definitely be in trouble if they try to foment anyone. Let's just take a listen to, of course, we are going to be, Jonathan is still with us. I mean, the main reason for him joining us. He's a free medical outreach at Ozoredeto State. But he will also be doing analysis on the FIFA World Cup because you don't get to see him all the time. But then, Ken, he said, we've signed him. I believe once the World Cup starts, we'll be having him regularly. But then let's listen to Infantino and also Abdulrahman talking about how everyone is welcome and also the security they put in place to ensure that, yes, everyone coming to Qatar will be safe.
This FIFA World Cup, a tournament of peace and unity, will be the one that brings the world together after some difficult times. And let me repeat it clearly. Everyone will be welcomed to the tournament, regardless of their origin, background, religion, gender, sexual orientation, or nationality.
This center is connected to 8 World Cup stadiums that are located in different parts of the country. From this facility, we have the capabilities to remotely manage a number of operational functions such as facility management, safety, security, surveillance, and IT support operations. There's a highly advanced technology platform behind this command center, which is the world's first connected stadium platform, and this has been accomplished through a very complex integration of a number of subsystems in the stadium, such as CCTV or building management systems and digital signages and other audiovisual systems, all integrated under one technology platform.
One big platform, yes. I mean, you just listen to what he had to say. I mean, concerning not just Infantino. Now, let's focus on what he has talked about. I mean, the control system, centers that they've been able to establish to monitor everything, both remotely.
I think this is one of the things we see in movies that we actually see in real life action, and then it shows you how big this World Cup is going to. It's actually going to be. There's been a lot of talk about what it will be like come when the World Cup starts in Qatar, all of that. So people's rights be protected, regardless of your gender, your, all of that, But at the end of the day, they are now coming out to assure us that there will be no issues, there will be no problems, everything's going to be monitored. The state-of-the-art command center being set up there, being able to monitor everything happening within the stadiums. I think that's really, really impressive. I think there'll be eight stadiums in total, and they're going to monitor every single one of them. So, like you said, if you go there and decide to misbehave, you get what's coming to you.
So you just have to behave.
Exactly.
Now, today we'll be taking a look at the Group G. Yes, in Group G, you have Brazil, you have Morocco, you have Brazil, Cameroon, Serbia, and Switzerland. That's the groups you're looking at. So, Jonathan, I mean, Cameroon, of course, we'll start with the preview of the Cameroonian national team. Yes, Cameroon qualified by virtue of the fact that they went away to Algeria. I mean, they got away goal rules, they got the result they needed, and they booked the ticket. I mean, no one ever expected them to actually qualify because Algeria happens to be, of course, when it comes to football, especially the fact that they are defending former champions of, they won the Nations Cup the last time before Cameroon won it this year. So not Cameroon, sorry, Senegal won it this year. For you, Cameroon, they have an African coach. I mean, the coach right there, Rigoberto Song, who has also won the Nations Cup. What are their chances, the group they are in with Brazil, Switzerland, and also Serbia?
Well, that's a very, very difficult group because the Swiss have picked a very good coach in Murat Yakin. Yakin was my teammate at Stuttgart. He has done very, very well with the Swiss national team, and he has gotten some fantastic results, against, I think the recent one was against Spain, and they beat Spain very, very well. Brazil, they are always among the favorites when it comes to the World Cup. The Serbians, they've demonstrated that they can actually hold their own in any tournament. So Cameroon will come as definitely the dark horses in this group. They might qualify. You never can tell. They have nothing to lose, and any team that has nothing to lose, they always do very, very well. So I expect them to actually upset one team to try and qualify, and if they do, it might be Brazil or Switzerland, because I think Switzerland are really, really playing organized football under Murat Yakin.
Yeah, that's really interesting and impressive. Ken, I mean, when we're looking at a group like this, sometimes everybody just want to talk about Brazil because of the firepower they currently have. I mean, you have a team that is really, really complete. I mean, you have from Rodrigo to Neymar to, I mean, name them, Jesus. I mean, you have a crop of players that are young, talented, and really, really hungry. Is this really their time? Because they haven't won it in a long while.
Is this really their time? I think sentimentally the world is rooting for one number 10 who wants to join Pele Maradona, and they said now he has won the Copa America. Does it need this to cement greatness? When that number 10 is not a Brazilian, he's an Argentine. But we are talking about Brazil. Like Jonathan said, you look at Brazil. They come to any tournament, be it under 17, they come as favorite. I think Brazil is football and football is Brazil. And just look at it. Coincidentally, this is the in 2022. This is the 22nd edition of the World Cup. And in this 22nd edition, only one country has won it 5 times. 5 times they've won it, and all 5 times they won it outside Brazil. It is ironic because Brazil hosted twice. They hosted in 1950, they hosted in 2014, where the Germans showed them no mercy. Sure, you get it. And then that is where, even in 1950, it was disaster when they lost to Uruguay, and then with the report added that some presidents committed suicide, they changed their jersey, they stopped using the color of jersey they were using before. I think football is their religion right there. So in this group, like we said, they are there. They are ranked topmost station in the world. I bet you know with the players we are having. Nobody has gotten a better breakthrough year than Vinicius Junior. I mean, that guy just came in from nowhere and then terrorized everybody. Look at what he did in the Champions League, but a star. Neymar has matured. Neymar, in when Brazil won the Olympic gold at home in 2014, I watched most of their matches. And that was the first time I saw Gabriel Jesus. I thought, who is this kid? This kid is precocious. And before he went to England, and then right now he's a household in football. So Gabriel Jesus, Rodrigo, and Neymar, for goodness sake, that team is talented. Thiago Silva and Marquinhos right at the back also giving them that solidity that they need. So Brazil will come here as favorites. They almost strolled through the South American qualifiers. Yeah. The only people that gave them small opposition was the Argentine.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is what you are going to have there. For the Cameroonians, quarterfinalists in 1990. Since then, they've won only one match.
We need to quickly go on a break. So when we come back, of course, we'll continue from there. Yeah. Yeah, the game between Nigeria and Germany is still 1-0 in favor of Flamingos. Of course, Okwemi Ajakaye was the one who scored that goal for Nigeria in 20 minutes of the game. It's about 44 minutes into the game right now. It's about to go on the first half. We'll hope and see if the Flamingos can add one to it and just consolidate on what they've started and finish a third at the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. Yes, Okwemi Ajala is in the studio joining us on the program. Okwemi, good afternoon.
Yeah, thanks, Sisi, for the introduction. Good getting that goal from Okwemi Ajakaye, namesake, and almost is not an onomatopoeia or whatever. Okwemi Ajala. So I think it's a brilliant Sunday so far as we go into the second half.
OJ, I love that. Thank you for coming on the program. All right, we were talking about Cameroon. That was what Ken was talking about before we went on that break. Ken, you just continue from where you stopped concerning the Cameroonian national team, the chances of getting out of the group and maybe be the team that will get to the semi-finals or maybe finals. Who knows? It's football.
See, I just had a better success. Success, failure is part of fun. Success has uncle, father, sister. Look at how Ope is claiming Ope, because both of them are Ope, it's Ajakai, not Ajala. Ope and Ajakai, it's as Ope and Ajala. I almost thought I had this Ope and Ajala, where you have to say the story. And the guy just came in and he claimed it. You know, he claimed everything about her, And that's okay. The Cameroonians, like we said, I think they were the first the African team, that 1990, and nobody can forget Roger Millet, what they did for Africa. Especially, that match against Colombia with the, Equator right there. They did so well. They're going to the World Cup for the 8th time now. That is the record for the African team. Just like the Brazil also there for the 22nd time, a record. Brazil has been the only ever present from 1930 till date. They have never missed a World Cup. So when you look at, if you say this is the 22nd edition of the World Cup, so that Brazil is going for the 22nd time, and that it also happened in 2022. But for the Cameroonians are going for the 8th time. After that 1990, it's not been solid. I think of the 15 matches they've played since that time, they won just one. We remember, I can remember what Ole Salenko did to them in USA 94. But with this combo of Rigobert Song and Samuel Eto'o fails, that said, I have confidence in you, you can do it, we were teammates, and then we believe that. None of us believed after the first 10 in Cameroon that they will go to Algeria to pick qualification. But that is a different ball game entirely when they get to the World Cup. The Swiss team, they check their history. They don't bow to any team. They don't. I think one of the edition when they even defeated Ronaldo's Portugal. They come and they have this diversity in picking their teams. They don't just almost like the English and rest of the ball and the French national team. They don't look at tribe or religion. They pick at everybody to come in there and have a solid team. They have a solid history of a solid youth progression, into the senior team. I remember a few years back they won the junior championship in Europe. So whenever you see the Swiss team, you know that you're having a compact, organized team. Even like Joe said that the coach, he played with the coach over there. The Serbians, you understand that one. These two teams are ranked, at 12th and 13th in the world. So if the top 20 team is going to a 32-team tournament, expect the best from them. We hope that Cameroon will shine. We hope that they will do what they did to Argentina. We hope that they will do what Senegal did to France. Shock Brazil in that opening game. And then when they do that, probably Africa will say we are smiling. Your first game matters most. If you get a result, or if you put your morale, the confidence of the team, and they will go for that. So we are looking for that. That is some of the teams, because if you look at the rankings, Cameroon and Ghana were not supposed to qualify at the expense of Algeria and Nigeria, but they are there now. Qualification doesn't matter. It's what you do with the qualification that matters. And we expect Cameroon to do well. Let us just they agreed. You remember that Cameroonian team, that were sleepless. We went, they were intimidating the world with their chairs and all other things. Physicality is what they play. But like I said, with Eto'o and Rigobert Song, we are not going to get at the FA president and coach. It's like two friends working together, training together for the goodness of the team.
Interesting. I will just quickly ask you, he said, we hope that Cameroonians can actually shock the Brazilians. Yes, is that
I don't see that happening.
It's not happening.
No. Even when we had a more compact Cameroonian side in 1994, and in fact, that was one of the worst World Cup matches I've seen any African team played. Cameroonians got their first shot on target when Rujamila came in, and that was like 83rd minute in 1994. They came back to 2014. When Brazil stayed, they were still blown away. So for this World Cup, I don't see the Cameroonians blown away in 2014 again. So I don't see the Cameroonians. I'm not nursing any false hope.
Yes.
He said it. The Algerians are supposed to qualify ahead of the indomitable Lions. So they will go there, put up a respectable performance. But from this group, I can put my bet or money on Cameroon.
I second that, because you want to look
they're
at...
not getting out.
Well, I wouldn't want to say they wouldn't get out, because then again, no miracles happen. But coming up against this Brazilian side, and you talked about the firepower that they possess, that's going on front. Nobody's even talking about the back. Let's not forget that the best goalkeepers in the Premier League for the past 4 or 5 years are Brazilians. That's talking about Edison, and of course the Liverpool shortstop Alisson. So and then they still have men at the back who can still do the work.
Edison can even act at the attacking midfielder.
Exactly. Because I think this season the goalkeepers are giving assist already. This season, that's how compact that squad is. And then like you said, it's been a while they have won this tournament. I think 2002 was the last time Brazil went on to win the tournament. That was about 20 years ago now, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like, okay, what is going on here? You won it 5 times, and look at, and then they have arguably one of the best footballers in the world, talking about Neymar, in that squad, who seems to be in the form of his life right now, scoring goals and creating assists for fun currently in PSG, you know, impressing both in the league and in the Champions League. So it's I don't think, barring a miracle, Cecilia, I doubt if they will be able to cause any upset for this Brazilian team.
All right, no hope coming from here, but we have hope from outside because 2 others need to work from London, and they are hoping that they can do that. All right, let's address the big elephant in the room. That's why Jonathan Akpobori is actually joining us on the program today. Well, thank you so much for your insightful analysis so far. But then you have a project on ground, which is the medical outreach that you're currently doing in Ozoro, Delta State. I mean, that is really fantastic, coming from, you know, a former player of the Super Eagles. Tell us more about this program, why you decided to do that, especially in Delta State.
Well, I don't know where to start from, but it was something that I started thinking about, because after I retired, in the last few years, I've been going to Zoro, Delta State, and I would always, at the back of my mind, looking at, you know, the quality of life in that area, and what stood every time very tall was that non-availability of the opportunity to get medical assistance when somebody has issues with their health. And when my senior brother lost his life, I still believe till tomorrow, if he was maybe in Lagos, he would have survived his ailment, you know. So in putting that in mind, I went to a wedding in Belgium with a friend of mine, and I met a friend there, and we started discussing about this. He started telling me about Revive, and immediately he mentioned it. I asked him some few questions, and I said, please, I would want to bring this Revive doctors to Isuku in Delta State. Immediately, we started talking about it. I had to go through a meeting with the doctors themselves, and they agreed to come and see, you know, how Ozoro would be like if they come, and they would want to see the hospitals and where they would want to use if they decide to come. So they came, they saw, and they picked the general hospital in Ozoro. After they picked the general hospital, we visited the Commissioner of Health in Asaba, and he now gave the approval for them coming to Nigeria, and also providing some of the equipment that they will need to perform surgeries if needed. You know, from then on, like I'm sitting down here, it's like it was all like a movie, because from planning, implementation, and now, you know, having seen everything, and seeing the beneficiaries of the medical project, I am very, very happy, and it is something that I would really want to do again.
Because that's going to be my next question, if you're going to continue with a project like this, because I know obviously it's capital intensive. I mean, bringing all the doctors down, and the community benefiting from it. Yes, it's a charity, but then the aim behind it is really something that's really commendable. And I'm happy that you said you're going to, you know, do it again. But you're getting support from maybe anywhere or something?
No, I apart from the approval I got from the commissioner, I did not want to mix it with anybody. I did not want to mix it with any organization. apart from Revive, that actually brought the doctors. Because when you start, I think in Nigeria, when you start mixing charity with people, then you get disappointed. There were some disappointments because we couldn't really get the ventilator that we actually asked the state government to produce for us. And in not getting those ventilators, we just wanted one ventilator. If they could do it too, but we couldn't even get one. There was a lady there were some few people that came with cases of breast cancer, for example. The doctors were really, really angry that they couldn't help them because of the ventilators. They had to risk one of the operations to do it manually because the lady was going to lose her life, and she had breast cancer. So they had to cut off that part of the breast, and the operation took a very, very long time because we had somebody, one of the doctors was actually handling the oxygen manually with his hand, and the sequence, he had to follow it for 3 hours consecutively. So that was really, really difficult, but it was a successful one.
Okay, yeah, I can take a different breath now with that successful operation. So that means she's doing well and fine now.
Oh, yes.
Well, thank God. Okay.
Yes.
Thank God for that. But let's quickly touch down on this one. I mean, a former player, Henry Nwosu, he's been in the news for a while now concerning his current ill health. But before, you react to this, let's just listen to Tijani Babangida talking about him, and also Henry Nwosu talking about his current state of health.
I find it very important for me to come all the way to see it by myself, representing, of course, players, and coming to also talk to the medical doctors to know exactly what is at hand, so that we want to see not only donation of money coming to him, but what is the problem and where can we be able to come up and talk to the relevant authorities to see if we can get help from. This should be a private thing, of course, but all I can tell you that MON Henry Nwosu need urgent help, medical help, and for sure I know that all the stakeholders are watching, and also hopefully the people from the government are watching, and that I hope that very soon health programs, help will come, so that we can be able to take him maybe somewhere better. It can be outside the country, it can be also in the country, but of course outside the country can also be much, much better, because the situation can be critical, which a player like Henry wants to deserve more than this. That's why you see, like I said from the beginning, that's why I come here. It's not about money. People sending money. No, it's not about money issue. It's about trying to see how Nigerians who can be able to help him out.
I'm elated. I'm very, very happy about this. Because it caught me by surprise that people are here to see me on my sick bed. My sisters and I have been here. I've been here for months. I have my two sisters taking care of me here. By God's grace, they are trying their best. They'll soon be back. They want to purchase some few things. But my problem now is our finances is gone down. I've spent a lot. My sisters and my in-laws, they spent, even our grandchildren, like me now. My grandson has spent some money on me. My sister's children, the same thing. But by His grace, I'll fight this war, and I'll come out of it. A success.
Amen. Hopefully he'll be able to, fight this and get out of it. Yes, Henry wants to, it needs no introduction, Jonathan. I mean, you guys know him. I mean, what it's done for Nigeria, inspiration to so many players. He also was an assistant coach to Odegba. I mean, he's a top player. I mean, inspiration. I mean, I remember he was. I mean, not remember. I read that he was one of the youngest players. During the Green Eagles time with the Segun Odegba means of this world and everything. And he continues like that until he retired.
Henry, like you rightly said, Henry doesn't need introduction to a lot of people because he played football with so many generations. I think even I, in one of the few league games I played in Nigeria, I played against ACB, and Henry was one of those players. So listening to TJ there. TJ was saying it's not all about money. Henry is a national icon. He is in need of money because if we are saying, he's ill, the last statement he was making there was, okay, we've exhausted a lot of funds.
Yes.
Henry needs money. He's a national icon. It is not Henry's fault that he needs money right now. Why? Because the system at that time did not actually provide that opportunity for him to plan as a football player his retirement. That is why it is like that. So we are calling on all Nigerians. We are calling not just the governments, the very, very rich Nigerians that have money. We know they do have money. One person would be able to pay all of Henry's medical bills and they will not blink. Those are the people we are talking about. They don't have problems with money. They should come out and help one Nigerian icon that has actually provided so many joy moments for Nigerians. They should come out and help Henry Wosu. We are not talking about hundreds of thousands of naira. We are talking about millions to save Henry Wosu. And we are calling the very, very rich people because they are the ones that are capable of doing this thing for the Wosu family.
Yeah, have you been able to see him since he fell ill?
Actually, I couldn't see him. I was in Uzoro, and the news broke when we were in Uzoro. I actually wanted him to come over so the doctors there could take a look at him. But I think right now his condition is critical, and he can't really. I don't think he would have been able to make it by road. That was why he could not come to Uzoro. But I think from talking to my former colleagues and the people who have seen him, I think action should be taken now, not when, God forbid, something happens and everybody is then running around to say, okay, they want to remember. No, he is still alive now. We should try rally around and provide what he needs for him to spend more time with us in this world.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. Ken, let's bring you into all of this, concerning Henry Wosu. And also, Jonathan touched down on, a project that is really dear to his heart, the medical outreach program that he is currently doing in Ozoro Delta State.
Coincidentally, both Jonathan and Henry have AJ background. When we talk AJ in Nigeria, we know where AJ is the city of Ajegunle. Henry was a live bit of Cameroon at the Mock Nations Cup. Jonathan, which of the teams did you play for? Which of Ethiopia? Ethiopia. I guess Ethiopia. I know you played for Ethiopia. Henry played for Cameroon. Henry was a habit of Cameroon. And then we used to call him then until 2002, Henry was known as MON without EY. And when he went to the World Cup, he became, if you call him MON, he would tell you, please add EY. And then he was a captain of national team. Played at a point, he was playing for both the senior national team and the junior national team. He has that telepathic relationship with the Friday Lao when he sends those parties, and it delights like what Jonathan just said, a delight for the national team. And then for Jonathan doing what he has done, a heart of gold. We have seen Jonathan doing it. We saw what Nwankwo Kanu has been doing. These men are gem. We pray to God to give them the strength to continue. I spoke extensively with Jonathan. Jonathan is here. There's a phase 2 of this project. Probably he will tell us if his project is not for me to talk about, and then maybe it's a continuum. Since you asked him, and he said it's not going to end in one. So it's a continuum. But then for hearing also, like Jonathan also said, we need help. We need to rescue this national icon. National, so there is nothing we want to do. He said, look, I have exhausted the funds I have. My children have almost exhausted their funds. My grandchildren. So what else do you understand? And then for the players union, I'm happy for their presence because not only, like you said, people. All right, but let me just do this thing. Jonathan, probably when we come back after taking calls, if we can take calls, Jonathan tell us what is the role of players union outside that in Germany where he played, and how do the players contribute funds to give the players union the muscle to do the job that they do.
Yeah, but that will be after this short break. You're welcome back. So Jonathan Akwobori was going to react to what Ken was trying to say, the phase 2 of the project currently having, and also how, Professional Footballers Association, how they actually help former players when they are in need like this. Jonathan, take it from here.
Yeah, usually, and it's very obvious that, that I would bring the doctors back to Nigeria by the grace of God. And this is a project because people keep asking me. There were some people, they will write on my Twitter handle, they will write on Facebook, and they kept asking why just Delta State? No, Delta because I think it was that particular place that I was frequenting at that time, and the decision came and it was made. The project is for Nigeria basically, and the next place, if you ask me where next would I want to bring them when it comes to my time to bring them, I can't really tell you where, because it's going to be a decision that I will make at that particular time. It might be a region where at that time they really need it more. It might be Lagos, it might be Ibadan, it might be in the north, it might be in the south, it might be in the east. It just depends on what is happening at that time in Nigeria and that particular place, and that would make the decision for us to go there.
Okay.
Talking about the players union, how do they get funded? Do the players pay dues? How do they get funded?
You see, in a country like Nigeria, for us, for example, we have several insurance companies that are in Nigeria now. They are so big, and they can accommodate so many things, especially our football, because our football is big market. First of all, we have to separate the players union from the football association. It can never be a tool of the football association. Even though I keep saying our football needs to leave the politicians, the shores of the politicians, for us to actually now build on so many things that will benefit the players. When they talk about the players' welfare, the first thing is insurance. You get an insurance company that is ready to actually play ball with the league and the players, because the players will have to separately be paying for their welfare. They'll be paying a token from their salaries every month for their welfare in case they get injured, one. And also, these monies that they are contributing is for the insurance company, and the insurance company will cover them when they get injured, and also for their retirement. If a player gets injured, for example, if he gets injury now, for maybe he cannot continue playing, this thing covers a lump sum that he will be able to use to do business. So it depends on what the player will now use that money for. In retirement, maybe somebody plays out, his age, and he is old enough to retire and say, okay, I cannot play football again. These things are planned he also gets a lump sum that he will use to do something else. Maybe he goes into business, maybe he puts it in the bank, he gets monies monthly from the interest that it will generate. All of these things are organized very, very well. But you cannot, I repeat, you cannot make all of these plans with the Football Association involved. It will disrupt a lot of things. That is why this Tijani led PFAN, they should actually give them an opportunity to see if they can actually pull this off, because that is something that Nigerian football needs right now, and the NFF should stay away from the Players Union.
We'll just end it there. Thank you so much for that. Quickly, updates coming from the game between Nigeria and Germany. It's now 2-0. Amina Bello doubled the lead for the Flamingos. So 2-0 up Nigeria and Germany. It's looking great for the Flamingos. 48 minutes played so far. It's just 3 minutes into the second half. That's when Nigeria got that goal through Amina Bello. 2-0 in favor of Nigeria. Quickly, before we wrap up this issue concerning Owusu, the guests in the studio have to talk about this. I'll go with you first. You were nodding your head when he was talking about what the Players Union are doing, and also, when Henry Rosu was talking about exhausting all his resources. So that's why he's now calling for financial help.
Yeah, I think Pelé was declared a national treasure in Brazil. So as at 1980, because going to school, we're always being fed with story of past students and in the likes of Adoke and Segun Odegbami, and present student who was a student when he won the Nations Cup in 1980. And they were telling us, if you do well, you can also get a house, get a car, and get national honor from the president. So Nwosu's story is a story that inspires a whole generation. Of course, Jonathan also will be part of that generation with the likes of Mbadi. So this happening to Nwosu could have happened to anybody. It's unfortunate, and we pray and also hope we do our part to ensure he gets out of the challenge. Then again, Jonathan was talking about the players' welfare, which takes us back to the club licensing thing. He was talking about insurance. The lifestyle of and the lifespan of an athlete, of a professional sport athlete, is very short.
Very, very short.
They say at 30, yes, you can go for national service. After 30, you can go. But sometimes at 29, your professional sport lifetime is over. So if you are starting your life at 30, going for the National Youth Service Corps scheme, and someone at 28 is already over, the career is over. So we look at so many things. In your revenue, your income, you have statutory deductions. You have.
Well, let me quickly just take this caller, Dayo, coming from Lagos. Dayo, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, Cecilia.
Great to have you join us.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's wrong with Henry Rosu? This is the condition is so bad now.
Yeah,
what's going on?
It's actually heart-related, so illness. Yeah.
What's NFS doing now?
Okay, you heard from, we talked about the fact that the ministry said they will come to his aid. Former players are also coming to his aid, and you heard from Tijani Babangida also, visiting him and all, and hopefully we'll hear from NFF very soon. I know they're doing something, but they just haven't given us a press statement concerning that. Yeah, thank you so much, Adebayo, for calling in. Okay.
Hello.
Okay, quickly.
Hello, Cecilia, are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Are you hearing me?
I can hear you.
The condition of this man, the condition of Henry Rosu is so bad. I saw him now. It's so bad. And you people are giving. You are talking to Johnny. You are talking to NFL. You are talking this one.
Okay.
So it's okay. Nobody, no other body again.
thank you so much
What is going on?
for calling in on the program. Thank you so much. I believe we heard what I said concerning people trying as much as possible to come out to say, just finish your statement.
Well, talking about the club licensing thing, so we have to also ensure certain things incorporated are enforced. Talking about their pension, the pay goes to government, so if government takes care of their own, why their pension, their HMO that covers, because they are athletes, their injury is different from someone that lives a sedentary lifestyle, go to the office from morning to night. They are active on the pitch of play. Yeah. So many things need to be factored, not the national 9 to 5 lifestyle. So I think they should, all these things should be in their contract.
I think Ogwe has all covered it. One thing I know is that as a professional sportsman, professional athlete, you're literally one injury away from ending your career, from retirement, or whatever the case may be. We need to make sure that these guys can plan themselves very well. Because, like you said, I didn't watch Aniwosu play. I think he attended secondary school with my uncle, and then at St. Philip's College in Akoka. And then my uncle talked about him all the time. You know, so this one that puts smiles on the face of so many Nigerians. So seeing this happen to him now, we can only hope that well many Nigerians can step up and then play their part and ensure that we don't lose another icon.
Of course, we don't want to lose him yet because it's not his time yet. So hopefully he'll be able to pull this through. And I hope that Akpobore has pleaded, Tijani Babangida has pleaded, all the well-meaning Nigerians can actually help and come to his aid to treat him. I mean, it's now that he needs it, not later. And then it's really now. So Muda from Jos tried calling us earlier. So he's back on. Muda, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I can hear you. Go on, please.
Yeah. I'm interested. So now, please, I see the show everyone to X International. Please, we want the journalists to work on it so that they should allow the awareness to the Minister of Sports to please come to X International because he worked for the country. He's the X International. Please, they should allow the Minister of Sports, please, to help him, please, to come to his aid. So the journalists, I see your workforce. You are doing very good job. Please, they should come to the state, please. So these people, they serve the country very well. They serve.
Yeah, thank you so much, Muda.
Well. Yeah. So they should compensate them, please.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much, Muda. And of course, as I said earlier, the Ministry of Sports already, they are aware of it. And of course, they said they are doing everything possible to also, assist him, in taking care of his ill health. And hopefully, next time we're here to talk about him, I mean, we'll talk about the fact that, yes, he's improving. And of course, he has all the things he needs to be able to recover from the ill health. I mean, you were talking about, when we were talking about, club licensing, and part of this is the fact that David Sewumi, who happens to be, MPFL chief executive, he has been talking about how clubs can really ensure that they don't have to loan players, from amateur clubs, academies, because he said this is really unlawful. According to a statement that was released from the MPFL executive bodies, the fact said capital flight and loan agreements with amateur clubs will no longer be allowed because they want to reset the operations of the Nigerian Professional Football League, and the only way they can do that is to actually have, put everything in line with the mandates given by the interim management committee. That's the IMC that was instituted by the NFF and the ministry, that they're urging all clubs to refrain from engaging in the unlawful practice of loaning players from amateur clubs, football academies, as this practice is actually contrary to the provisions of the extant rules of the game. They don't want this anymore. They actually talked about the framework and the rules of the MPFL, which prohibits this practice, providing that no club of the leagues shall enter into loan on temporary transfer agreements with an amateur club, a football academy, individual entity, or other professional club, including the National League. No loaning That's the practice they are talking about. It said this practice is actually illegal, contributes to capital flights from Nigerian Professional Football League by ensuring that these are actually denied, and of course having reward system. It's a whole lot. But then quickly, I mean, because we are running out of time, I'll just quickly ask Jonathan on this. What does he think about this framework that they are talking about concerning the fact that you cannot loan players from academies? I mean, how does he operate elsewhere? Because Nigerian case happens to always be peculiar. I mean, it's always a peculiar case where you have to loan a player from a football academy. I mean, that's really, yeah, it's something. Okay, we can, okay. Okay, can you unmute, okay, can you please unmute, yeah, I can't hear you.
I haven't read all of it yet, but
okay.
You know, when you can't loan from the academies, how? My question is, how do you now develop those players that are coming from the academies? Because there's no platform at all for them to actually showcase the talents that they have. During our time, we had so many competitions. Those competitions were not official competitions, but they were there. Like, you know, in a whole season, there is the campus competition we used to play. I know we had some owners who would come and pick us from school to go and play at campus. Then the mock Nations Cup in Ajegule, you know, all of those things were actually developing players, you know, that would now eventually go and play in the league. But you don't have those things now. So why would they loan players from the academies?
They want a full transfer. I mean, pay the money so that these clubs can actually earn from it instead of loaning. But let me quickly take this call coming from Bright. You know, he's calling us from Abuja. Bright, good afternoon. Okay, I think Bright is gone. Sorry about that, Bright. Hopefully you'll be able to catch up with us before we leave the show. Quickly, I'll just ask, Ken, you have 30 seconds on this one, Ken, concerning this capital flight and loan agreement with amateur clubs coming from David Women, Chief Executive of Nigerian Football League.
Jonathan has not read the full this thing. What they actually wrote there is that, Joe, is that, you know, if you want to, you know, transfer a player, the player should be fully transferred, but not go on loan.
Not on loan.
You know, the practice is that the academies and the professional players will club will take these players on loan. They will play for them. They're not transfer. And then when the academy want to sell, they sell the players without the clubs not gaining anything from it. So they are saying, if you take, you know, in the FIFA club licensing system, you can take the player, they will compensate if you come a mature player. By the time you are reselling, there is a compensation clause. Okay,
coming to the club. Okay, Ken, let me quickly take Sadiq calling from Abuja. Sadiq, hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Cecilia.
Yeah.
Please, my contribution to Harry Moses' illness is unfortunate. Superstars who paid their dues for the game, I think he deserves all the necessary care and attention. We should not wait. We should not wait till another thing happens. Please, we should come to his aid. They paid their dues.
All right. Thank you so much, Sadiq, for your contribution. Ken, I think director is on my neck right now, so we need to leave the set at this moment. Thank you so much. I think we'll talk more about this. Maybe we have to bring David Siomi to actually, you know, give us a real framework of what this is all about. Thank you so much.
Yeah, maybe by next week.
Next week we have to bring in David Siomi to talk on this one. We'll work on this one. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for being a part of the program. Thank you so much. I mean, we enjoyed your analysis. I mean, the insightful analysis. Of course, the Flamingos, they are on fire. It's 3-0 right now. I wish I'm watching the game. 3-0. I mean, these girls are flying. Eddie Young scored that goal for Nigeria, 3-0 against Germany. I said, I mean, you lightning will strike twice. Come on. Jonathan, thank you so much for coming on the program. Of course, from you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, for the Qatar flight, let's have a proper enforcement of the rule.
Proper enforcement. I love that. That's where we should go.
Go Flamingos, go.
Go Flamingos, go. Thank you guys for being a part of the program. See you again next Sunday.